Okay, here's the second video for graphing piecewise defined functions. So let's get another graph paper here. Here's number 3, right? We did 2 on the first video. Number 3. Okay. How about we get this? What if we have something like f of x is equal to -1/2 x minus 6, comma, and then here's the domain part where it's gonna tell you how much or for what values of x we want to see this function. And there's going to be another one over here. I'm just going to put 2 for this one because now we just don't have simple horizontal lines, right? And then we got this. For the second function. Okay, so for this first function, what you're going to do, again, go to Desmos. You're going to be able to graph this, or you'll see it on Desmos. You pretty much copy the line. And if you start at the y-intercept, which is -6, you'll see that the graph crosses -6 right here. And so that's a critical point. And then you'll find another good point right on these crosshairs where you can see that it's exact. Maybe it has an x-intercept, but down 1/2. I mean, it should look like this. Right? So again, use the decimals, and you can see that you can find a couple of points, or all the points that are on this line. Okay, and then we're going to use a ruler. I'm going to use the edge of my notebook here, and we're going to graph this straight line right there very lightly with a pencil. Did I do this right? Okay, it should go like this. Okay. Okay, that's the line. I mean, it's continuous, right? That's this first one on top over here. But I'm not going to graph the whole thing. This inequality is going to tell me what? Well, which part to keep and which part I don't want to see, right? So how do we do this? For the values of x, I want to see the values of x, and go to this number, go to -4. Well, x, go to -4, and at -4 I go down to my graph. It's right here. Here's this critical point, and it does have the equal sign, so I am going to fill it in. Now, for x, -4 is here, and it says that I want to have the values of x that are less than the -4. Here's -4. The values of x that are less than -4 are over here. -5, -6, -7, -8. So all the values of x that are less than -4 are on this side, so I keep this side of the graph. Which means all these other values, or this is the part of the graph that gets erased. Okay? So we're going to keep this part, and that is going to go continuous that way. So we put an arrowhead on that side right there. That's this first one. That's this one here. Yeah, that's for that one. Now we got a different function, different graph. It could be a parabola. It can be absolute value. It can be a line like this. It's a line that has a slope and a y-intercept. Again, you graph this, right? That's going to be like y is equal to f of x is equal to x plus 5. Again, go to Desmos, and that'll help you graph this out. But I know that the y-intercept is at 5, so there's a point there. And I know it's going to look like this because, well, I know how to graph these quickly, right? So it's going to be, and again, you just graph the whole thing, right? We're doing the second one here. Again, I don't have a ruler, so I'm just going to use my, use your credit card or use the edge of your notebook like I'm using here. And find a couple of points. You don't have to find all of them. As long as you find like 2 or 3 that are on this line, then you can just sketch the line, right? Very lightly, because we're going to erase something, right? Now, what does this say? Oh, this one also says go to -4, but this is for a different graph. This is for this one, right? So go to X, go to -4, and go up to the graph, which is here. Oh, there's a point there, right? So what about it here? I'm either going to keep the top or I'm going to keep the bottom. Let's see. It does not have the equal sign, so I'm going to leave it open circle. I'm going to leave an open circle here. And what does this say? At -4, at x equals -4, I want the values that are what? Well, if it's opening up to the x, that means that the x is greater. The values of at -4 that are greater are on this side. See, negative, and everything to the right is greater, right? At -4, -3, -2, and then this is at these greater values of x means that I want to keep this side of it because this is where it's producing the graph for the values of x that are greater than -4 this way. So that means we're keeping this side. And that means that from -4 down this other way, we don't want this. So this is the part that you erase. And that's going to be this one. So this was the function, that was the graph. But at -4, kind of started there. And we only kept the values of x that are greater than -4. So that's that. Okay, that's number 3 right there. So you're using Desmos to help you with graphing this you got to know how to read the domain and then know which part of it to erase. Okay, let's do the next one. And where's my examples? Right here. Okay, let's go with number 4, and I'll go with they'll change it up, g of x, that doesn't matter. Let's go with -x minus 1. And x is less than or equal to -4 again. And then 3, -4, and then when you step back and look at this whole problem like this all together, it looks like a lot, right? When you focus on one thing at a time, it's not gonna be that bad. So you know what? Let's focus on this first one first. This g of x is equal to this one here, which I'll do in blue. G of x is equal to -x minus 1. So remember, when you go to Desmos, you graph. You can put g of x, you can put f of x, or you can just simply put y is equal to -x minus 1. Right? We're doing this one. And when you draw that, when you see it on Desmos, and then you find the y-intercept. The y-intercept is like -1 over here, and then you find another point, and it'll look like this. You'll find several points, but you only need like 2. So just find a few. But long story short, you graph the whole thing, right? I mean, you sketch the whole graph. So the graph of this one for this top one is kind of steep. It looks like this. Gonna look like this. Ugh. All right. Let me do it lightly. Okay. You're gonna graph the whole thing. But then now you go to x at -4. Go to x -4. Okay, go to x. X -4 is right there. And then you go up to the graph, and it's this point right here. And it does have the equal sign, so I'm going to shade it. And now I'm going to find out if I get to erase the top part or if I get to erase the bottom part. One of these sides gets to stay and one of them gets erased. Now let's read this. What does that say? I want the values of x. I want to keep the values of x. I want to see the values of x. Here's -4. Here's the values of x that are what? Less than -4, right? Because if it's opening up to the -4, that means the -4 bigger. The -4 is bigger. That means that the values of x here at -4, you want the values of x that are less than -4. That means I want -5. I want -6. That means -7. So that means I'm going to keep this side, right? These are the values of x less than -4 over here. So that means I don't want to see this. I erase all of this. So that means I know it's coming from -infinity this way, but we kind of say, we just kind of leave it like that. Here's the first one. So we went to x, we went to -4, and it says it only wants to see the graph from -4 and all the values of x less than it. See, you got to look down here, the values of x less than -4. Okay, so that takes care of this one. Here's the blue one, okay? I'm using color to help you out. This one here, remember these from the first video when it's just like a number like that? It's g of x is equal to 3 or y is equal to 3. That's just a horizontal line going through y at 3. But you can graph it on decimals, you'll see it. So go to y, go to 3. Y is equal to 3 is right here, right? 1, 2, +3. And it's just a horizontal line like this. Okay, but it only wants to see this line from -4 up right here at -4. It should already include it, right? Because it's, you know what, maybe I forgot to write it. It should have the equal sign because it's already filled in here. So x is between -4 and +1. X +1 is right here. And that one's also what? Has an equal sign, so we fill it in. So we want to see the values of x that are greater than -4. Here's -4 greater is this way, and at the same time less than or equal to 1. So pretty much between -4 and +1. We want to keep this in between this middle part. Well, let's make that one what color? Didn't pick a color here, huh? Pink. So that's this part right there. And we erase the rest of this right side and the rest of this left side. Okay, and lastly what? This 2x minus 4, you gotta go to decimals, how to graph it. Okay, punch it in decimals. I know that when I go to decimals, and I already know that this one, the y-intercept will be -4. And it'll have a couple of, look for another 2 or 3 points that are hitting right on the crosshairs. So it'll be here or here, right? So when you go and you do that, you'll see that the line looks like this, right? You're going to use decimals to help you on the graphing part. I already know what it is, so it's going to look like this, right? Something like that. Okay, we don't have to be perfect, but the line should look like this. Okay. And now what does this say? This one says what? Oh, let's do this one. Let's do this one yellow. This one says that I'm going to go to this. Well, I already graphed the line. I already took care of this. Go to x and go to 1. Here's 1. When x is 1, you get to here. At this graph, you get to here. It doesn't have the equal sign, so we leave an open circle at 1. X equals 1, go down right here, leave an open circle. And this one says that you want to only see the values of x that are what? Well, here's x1. This one says you want to This means that what the values of x are greater than 1. That means I want to only see this graph where the values of x are greater than 1. Greater than 1 is this way, 2, 3, 4. Right here for this side, I want to keep it on this side. The values starting at 1, or the values that are greater than 1. Greater than 1 would be to the right, right? Not to the left. So that means we'd keep this side, which means we erase the bottom part. I don't want to see them over here on the values of x that are less than 1. I want to see the graph at 2 and at 3 and at 4, right? The values of x that are greater than 1. And then that's going to look like that. And that's the yellow one, right? Yep. All right, there it is.